Hey, welcome back to Professional Caregiving. I'm Catherine, and I have been caregiving for more than 10 years with people who have special needs, typically developing children, just about everyone. I just like to take care of people. And I'm going to talk to you today about one of those things that happens when you care for people who are medically fragile. And I don't want to get worked up, but one of the things that happens sometimes is that your clients end up having long-term stays in the hospital. And so it's currently fresh for me because the little one I work with is just now getting to come home, and it's been a long stay and it's been emotionally very difficult. Like, obviously, for the family, you have to understand, for the family, there are no words for the emotion that the family is going through, right? But as a caregiver, no matter how long or short a time you've been with a person, you commit your time and you commit your personal feelings and energy. You grow attached to the people that you care for. And the uncertainty that comes from your client being hospitalized for a long time, you have your heart and your finances wrapped up in this world. It's hard. It's really hard. So balancing wanting to respect the family and give them space and give them time to process and understand that while their person is in the hospital and alive, there's a grief that goes with that, and they need space and they need time and they're not getting any sleep. At the same time, for me, I can't speak for anyone else, but for me, sitting and waiting and worrying is really hard. And it's you've got this person or this child or whomever you're caring for who is in actual danger, and a lot of times it looks like maybe the future is uncertain, and sometimes our clients have naturally short life expectancies, right? So it's heart-wrenching, it's hard, and I'm at a loss for words, really, because it's hard to talk about. You can't talk about it with the families because they don't need that, right? It's already hard enough for the family with their person in the hospital. Like, I want the family to know how much I care and how dear their person is to me, and that I'm ready and available for anything that they need. Just because their person is not at home does not mean that I can't provide some kind of services to make their lives easier, whether that's popping into the house, pet sitting, bringing them meals at the hospital, coordinating pickup for their other children or whatever. But what's hard is sometimes families don't want that. Sometimes families kind of curl in upon themselves during hard times, and they really shrink back and they don't know what to ask for. They're so overwhelmed and exhausted. They don't want extra help because it feels like one more thing, right? From a caregiver's perspective, from my perspective, that's hard, because then it feels like like your purpose, the thing that you are there to do, isn't getting done. And sometimes you continue to get paid through this, and that has some guilt associated with it, right? So you feel like, I can't provide you anything. Like I'm not walking your dog, I'm not cleaning your bathrooms, I'm not picking up your other kids from school, I'm not, making sure that the bills are making it to the hospital so that you can sign them. I'm not providing any services. And one of the things that my family is good at doing is reminding me that just the reminder of knowing that someone skilled and qualified is going to be there when their person gets out is really important. And another thing too is, sometimes families keep paying you because stopping feels like giving up. So by allowing them, even though it seems totally crazy and it's like you feel guilty the entire time, by not pushing them to let you go during that time and allowing them to keep you on, if that is what they intend to do, gives them an opportunity to establish that they believe that their loved one is coming home. And sometimes when it looks like their loved one isn't coming home, paying that paycheck feels good to them, and is really important from a caregiver's perspective to not step in and say, I want you to let go of this burden. I want you to let me go, and then when your loved one comes out of the hospital, you can find someone new, or hopefully I'm available. That isn't always helpful. So I guess the purpose in my coming on here and saying this is just to tell you really how I feel. Like, I am so relieved that my client is coming home. Like, there are no words. But there are more feelings that are involved in a situation like this. And I think sometimes people who don't have medically fragile family members, or who don't work in personal care or caregiving, you don't get to see or experience some of the quieter moments. And it's been a while, and I haven't wanted to take time to process it, because there was no end in sight, and there was no, it's so up and down, it's so back and forth, and you have good days, you have bad days, and often I just, I overthink, and I sit and I worry, am I reaching out too much? Am I not reaching out enough? And so this is just me coming on here and sharing one of those experiences that's not super common, or hasn't been super common in my life as a caregiver over the last 10 years, but it does happen. And when you take care of people who are medically fragile, sometimes it's nice to mentally prepare yourself for this, but there's nothing you can do to get ready for the diversity of feelings that you're going to experience when this happens. And you just have to give yourself permission to feel all of those things, and understand that it's okay, right? It's okay to feel those things, and exploring them and pursuing them and addressing them is really an important step to returning to work and to maintaining your sanity. And so this is just a glimpse into what caregiving has been like for me recently. And so I really appreciate you taking the time to sit with me and hear about it and process it out loud. I hope you have a lovely week. I'll see you next time.